Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And so, for a crazy discussion regarding iPhones that have been looted from the Apple Store, phones that have been stolen from mobile service provider stores. Yeah, people out there who are thinking it's a great idea to go out and steal phones and whatnot, don't do it. Okay, especially at the Apple Store. Apple just recently put out a press statement letting people know that if you have looted any of their Apple stores and stolen iPhones, iPads, and those things, they want you to know that those stolen products that you're in possession of are being tracked. As a matter of fact, the iPhones that have been logged as stolen, so their serial number and IMEI has been logged to Apple as stolen from a looting at a Apple store. And trust me, they can. I'll get into that and how they do that. The phones will display a message that lets you know that Apple knows that this particular iPhone you're in possession of is a stolen phone, and that it's alerting authorities. So you really can't do anything with that iPhone. I mean, you can try and be even more crooked and try to sell it to somebody by being like, "Yo, I got an iPhone 11 Pro Max for sale for $500." Sell it to somebody else, but when that person gets it, if they don't inspect the phone, which I'll say this to anyone out there, if you buy a phone through OfferUp, Macari, or anything like that, inspect the phone, okay? Inspect it. Take your SIM card and put it in the phone. Make sure it's not activation locked. Test phone calls and all those types of things. And the reason why I say that is because you just want to just be like, oh, it's an iPhone 11 Pro Max. 500 you said? Here's $500, and then walk away, and then that person gets away scot-free, and you just lost $500 and got a stolen phone or a phone that's not able to work. But Apple is going after people that's stealing their products because you're stealing their products. Why do you expect Apple to think? Like I think it's really idiotic that people are out there getting upset that Apple is going to track these phones. They're even saying invasion of privacy. You're invading my privacy. What privacy? You broke into an Apple store and stole an iPhone. You have no privacy when you stole something. What about their right to privacy and keeping their products and goods stored in their store location safe? You violated their privacy when you broke the window with a rock, got in there, and then started stealing iPads and iPhones and MacBooks and things like that. Today people have a very strange way of looking at things. I think that one's for the books. And invading my privacy because you're tracking the phone that I stole from your store. Like, that's a new one in my book. But these phones are being tracked. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how are they going to do that? Well, one, there's that nifty little thing called Find My iPhone, which, when you buy an iPhone and someone steals it from your backpack or steals it from the restaurant table that you had it laid out on and you just weren't able to pay attention and they were quick enough to swipe it from your table, you tend to get another Apple product like a MacBook or an iPad or someone else's iPhone, and you tend to go and track your iPhone. Same thing. Same concept applies when you steal it from an Apple store. They're going to track it. Now, several ways that they do this. Okay, well, how would they know if it's a stolen iPhone or not? Well, every Apple store gets a batch of iPhones. And when those come in, they are scanned in, being received at that store location. And when they're scanned in, being received at that store location has inventory of every product they're selling in there. So if they got 10 iPhone 11 Pro Maxes today, this morning, 10 o'clock, those phones are scanned in to show that it is present in that store's inventory. So they can tell if the phone's been sold or if it's still sitting there. And when you steal it, that information is still in their system. So when they want to go and say that, okay, all the iPhone 11 Pro Maxes have been stolen, so they send feedback to Apple that this particular Apple Store location was robbed and that all these iPhone 11 Pro Maxes we had in inventory are gone. And that list has the serial numbers and the IMEI to those iPhones that have been stolen. So all Apple has to do is blacklist the IMEIs to activation lock it so they cannot be activated on various carriers. And with the serial number, they're able to actually track the phone GPS, the same way you would track a stolen iPhone from Find My iPhone. So that's how they do it. So when people are like, well, how? They're not going to be able to do it. Yes, they can. And if you're like, well, I'm going to go for Android phones because iPhones are so much secure, Android is not. Well, you got another thing coming. I mean, Android has a similar thing to it. Now, it may not be as refined as Find My iPhone, but the what's it called? The Find My Phone feature that's natively built into Android now almost works in a very similar way. Sure, I think it could be beefed up a little bit more, so it could be much more secure. But you can find the Android phone the same way by tracking by GPS, and you can lock it too, lock it with a pin or whatever, whatnot. And of course, again, one of the biggest ones that both sides, both Apple and Google's Androids have in common is that they all have IMEIs. So if you break into a T-Mobile store and you lifted a bunch of Galaxy S20 Ultras, that T-Mobile store has to report back to Samsung that these specific S20 Ultras were stolen from them. The IMEI gets blacklisted, which means that when it's blacklisted, you try to take it to another carrier to activate it. That IMEI comes up as a bad one. They're not going to activate it. That means no service on it. So it's only going to be Wi-Fi. And these days, while you could probably walk around with a phone and connect to Wi-Fi always just to use service on it, you tend to get a little irritated when you can't use it for its full functions. You go to a place where there's no Wi-Fi, the phone is useless. You can play Flappy Birds. That's probably about it. Can't get on social. Can't make a phone call through VoIP. Can't do none of that. So it's pointless. It's pointless. Okay? Looting it all in itself is pointless. There's no reason for anyone to be doing that. You shouldn't be damaging local businesses and destroying property just to get things that you've always wanted and could not afford. Because if you could afford it, then you wouldn't be going out there looting the stores for it. So Apple making it pretty much on notice to anyone out there who's stolen the phone. You are definitely at this point in possession of a stolen product and you're being tracked. So, there it is. No free iPhones, even if you looted it from the store. And it's not invasion of privacy if they're tracking a product that you stole from them. Just saying. I'm just saying to people out there, those people that have done it. Yeah. Get rid of it. Chuck it in the river or something, because that's about all it's going to do. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed what I had to say in this video, smash that like button to let me know. If you just subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for doing so. And hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload another video. And yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you on the next one. And as always, aloha.